You're watching the Common Constitutionalist Weekend Video Podcast.
Hey there, my name is Brent Smith and I'm the Common Constitutionalist, and I'm on an island in the middle of a river somewhere, and I will be discussing today. I'm out here just because I feel like being out here, and it's a not too great day. I was supposed to go somewhere else today, but the problem is that the weather is iffy. It wasn't supposed to be iffy, but it's freaking iffy, and it could rain. It looks like it could downpour at any moment, and so I'm not going where I wanted to go, to get stuck out there, and with not a very safe way back. That being said, we're going to be talking about America's march, quick march toward fascism, particularly the left's quick march towards fascism. So that's what I'll be discussing today on the Common Constitutionalist Weekend Island Adventure podcast. And there's some geese over there. Like I said, there's a crane. He's still sitting out there on the river. And life's good for them because they don't know fascism from Adam. Be right back. All right, I built me a makeshift stool out of a piece of driftwood. So here we go. Many of us conservatives, like me, have said for years we're living in a post-constitutional America. Well, right now, at this time in history, it's actually worse in this man's opinion. We are living in a post-freedom America, okay? Maybe it's tomato type of nonsense, maybe. And it's actually even worse than that. Post-freedom, we are morphing into a fascist nation, okay? Now, everybody's been talking and throwing around the word Marxism like the Black Lives Matter founders are trained Marxists and blah, 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 blah. Marxism, in my opinion, it's like kinder, gentler way of humanizing communism. I don't even know, but it's not Marxism is just communism, okay? We are not heading toward communism now, in my opinion. We're heading toward fascism, okay? How about we explain the difference real quick for those who aren't read in like the rest of us geeks, okay? Communism is where the state controls the means of production. It controls everything. It controls the people. It controls the factories. It controls the stores. It controls the press. It controls literally everything, okay? Fascism is where we're headed now, and I'll tell you why. Public-private partnerships, okay? Fascism doesn't control the means of the actual physical means of production, of making widgets and selling widgets and things like that. All they do, fascist dictators, is they tell private corporations through the public-private partnership what you're going to make, when you're going to make, how many you're going to make, who you're going to sell them to, who you can't sell them to, and then how much of a cut of the action we're going to take and leave you with the crumbs. That's what the deal is. And if you don't decide not to buy into fascism, off with your head, so to speak. Not so to speak, for real, for rizzle, okay? So that's what the deal is, and that's why I say from now on we're heading into fascism, not Marxism, not communism. I don't care what these ignorant Black Lives Matter Antifa people, isn't it ironic that Antifa means anti-fascist, and that's where we're headed. That's where they're pushing us into fascism, okay? Public-private partnerships, remember that. That's fascism. Because there's no such thing as a partnership. It's a merger. Someone always comes out on top. You know who that someone's going to be? It ain't going to be the private sector. I'll tell you that right now. Whew. Okay, so if Joe were president, he said he would institute, like Kamala would say, by fiat. Look back on some of her first Senate speech on the Senate floor when she was elected first time around or whatever. That's the word she used for Trump every time. By fiat, by fiat, by fiat. Well, President Joe Biden, yeah, that's scary, said that he would issue a national mandate for everybody to wear masks. Everywhere, everybody, that's it, okay? And he would issue penalties and whatnot for not complying. Again, this is the public-private part. This is fascism. It's not communism. This is fascism, okay? And he says if you're a patriot, you'll step up, man. You've got to step up, like Corn Pop. Whatever. The guy's such a douche. It's unbelievable. You got to step up and wear a mask because you're not a patriot if you don't wear a freaking mask. If you don't comply with the government's edict, then you're not a patriot. Give me a break. He said, this is America, man. Be a patriot. Step up. Do the right thing. I am doing the right thing, okay? I'm living my life as an individual the way the founders envisioned it. Okay, so this is from Yahoo all the way back. Remember April 2020? I don't know that you can remember that far back. It's all of 4 months ago, I guess, right? Yeah, it was 4 lousy months ago. This is from the WHO. Yahoo News writes, the World Health Organization said yesterday, in advice on the use of masks. Now, again, this is just 4 months ago. Seems like forever ago, but it's 4 months ago. That there is no evidence, listen to this now, April, no evidence that wearing a mask by a healthy person in a community setting can prevent infection with respiratory. Now listen to this. You got to listen carefully and forget you're just listening to COVID-19 because it's on the brain. A healthy person wearing a mask, there is no evidence wearing a mask by a healthy person is in a community setting can prevent infection with respiratory viruses, plural. What up, seagull? Don't poop on my head. Including COVID-19. So all respiratory viruses, like the flu and like the common cold and things like that, and COVID-19, okay? It said that including universal community masking, okay? That's included universal community masking, like Joe Biden is wanting to issue. Now again, this is just back in April. Well, maybe we've learned a lot more, Saints, and no, we haven't. You name me one study, one empirical data that tells you that masks do the job. It doesn't. As a matter of fact, I want to mention something here. Masks are at best a 50-50 proposition. Here's what I'm saying. You know those silly ass blue and white masks that you get Walmart passes out and you buy, you know, whatever for $1 or whatever it is, the cheapy ass freaking masks. Then you get those, and then remember the N95 masks. Those are the black masks with a little white dot on the side of them. Okay, those are the really professional jobbies, right? Those are the ones that really needed. The healthcare workers really needed. Here's the deal. A blue and white mask might prevent you from spreading the disease, but it ain't going to prevent you from getting the disease. You're not going to be prevented from getting the disease with one of those stupid blue and white masks, but you could prevent yourself from spreading it if you had it. Now, N95 mask, flip that on a dime or whatever, flip that on its head. It's the exact opposite. The N95 mask may prevent you from getting it, but it won't prevent you, if you have it, from giving it to anyone else. Why? Because that silly white dot on the side of your face on that mask is a one-way valve. When you breathe in, the valve closes. When you breathe out, the valve opens. And so you're just spewing your COVID all over everybody through the stupid valve. So, duh. Okay? If this is the first time you've heard this, then I feel sorry for you. Okay? You need that is representative that you need to do your own homework. Okay? The WHO said those who are sick can help prevent spread with a mask that prevents the spread of infectious droplets from an infectious person, okay? It also said that there is here, listen to this. It also said that there is limited evidence that a person wearing a mask in households or while contacting sick patients or attending mass gatherings like church or riots, I guess, may be beneficial as a preventative measure. So there's no evidence to that either, okay? Then the report says, however, listen to this, there is currently no evidence that wearing a mask, whether medical or other types, by healthy persons in a wider community setting, including universal community mask wearing, Joe Bob Biden, you jerk, can prevent them from infection with respiratory viruses, again, all the flus and everything else, all the other coronaviruses, okay, the COV1, 2, A, B, G, I, O, okay, including COVID-19. Let me repeat, there is currently no evidence, and to this day, there's still no evidence. Look it up, that wearing a mask, whether medical or other types, by healthy persons in a wider community setting, including universal community masking, Joe, can prevent them from infection with respiratory viruses, including COVID-19. Now, some of you might say, well, yeah, but that was 4 months ago. What about now? As I stated prior, there's no more evidence today than there was back in April, okay? Why? Because COVID isn't some special magical virus, okay? It's different from the flu, but it's transmitted like the freaking flu, okay? Now I know personally, because I've read all about this stuff and I've written articles and I'm doing podcasts about this stuff, so I do a lot of research on this stuff. I know that this COVID-19 is not much more deadly than the flu, and it just isn't, okay? When the flu can kill 80 or 90,000 people in one season, okay, and we've already been through an entire season and more of COVID-19, and we have 160,000 deaths, so maybe that's 2 years worth, who knows, okay? And that's mainly because of us, and that's mainly because the states are lying their asses off, and lots of people didn't die of COVID that they say did, okay? So boo frickin' who for that. COVID-19 is being used now as a political tool by the left to first get rid of Orange Man, Trump, and test the limits of fascism. I mean by that, you know what, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back, and we'll test the limits of fascism. Tell you what I mean.
You're watching the Common Constitutionalist video podcast.
Yeah, baby! Yeah. COVID-19 has developed into a political tool, purely a political tool. It's no longer a health issue, it's a political tool, okay? By the leftists to get rid of Trump. That's first and foremost. We got to get rid of Trump. And then we have to test at the same time, we can kill two birds with one stone and test the limits of fascism. Just how much the American people will take before they revolt against us, okay? And that's exactly what I mean. Just how much will the American people put up with before they're done and say, we're not going that way. Just how far can our authoritarian government, either state, local, county, city, whatever the heck, and federal, how far can they push us before the citizens finally push back? We haven't gotten there yet because the citizens, not en masse, not enough of them are pushing back. And again, I don't know when we're going to find our limit to this nonsense, but like I said, we haven't yet. So they're just going to keep testing us, and testing us, and testing us. And at the same time, you have to really read into this thing. At the same time they're testing us, they're doing another thing. They are setting up ever important precedents. Okay? The reason why I say that is because the precedents they set today, social distancing, school closing, church closings, no public gathering, mask mandates, quarantine, all that stuff. All these precedents that they set today will be the benchmarks of tomorrow, okay? It's like baseline budgeting, okay? I just thought of this. Sorry to go off baseline budgeting. Baseline budgeting is where you have a budget for the year. Next year you're going to have 10% more, okay? That's what you voted 10% more. The year after that, you're not going to go back to your 2-year-ago baseline. The 10% more now becomes the baseline, and how much are you going to add to that? So that's baseline budgeting. It's really smarmy. This is baseline limit setting, okay? The precedent you set today, mandating masks, yep, they put up with that. Mandatory vaccines, yep, they put up with that. Whatever the hell, school closings, yep, they put up with that. Church closings, yep, they appear within reason to put up with that. All these things that they're testing us to see where our limits are also set a precedent for tomorrow. It's a bench. It's like Supreme Court precedent. Oh, we can't we can't undo a Supreme Court precedent. Well, yeah, you can. Okay, it's like a king saying, "It's the law." Well, you made the law, ass. You can change it. Same type of deal. But that's what they're doing. It's not just they're testing our limits, but they're testing our limits, and at the same time, they're setting precedent for next time. So that's our benchmark. Okay, the benchmark is they bought the entire country shutting down. They bought the entire country wearing mask mandate. No churches open, whatever. Those are our benchmarks next time for the next COVID-20 and COVID-20 or whatever the hell it is. I don't care what it is, okay? So, I just got to grab something out of my pack. This one is going to be controversial and it may upset some people, but bear with me. I'll be right back. All right, don't get upset yet. Okay, just bear with me. Hear me out. It's not my intention to do what people think I might be doing here. Okay. Recognize this. If you're a World War II buff, or if you're a Jew, or you understand Jewish history, you'll know what that is. That's the yellow Star of David that the Nazis. That's the yellow Star of David that the Nazis forced all Jews to wear on their clothing or on their person to identify them as being Jewish. And it was a rather abhorrent thing. Why? Because it was so much easier to round them up, because everyone knew the yellow Star of David said Jew on it. There you go. It was plastered on storefronts. Don't do business with these Jews. It was awful. It was just awful. And that was Hitler's fascism, okay? Does it make it easier to round them up? It's like having a registration. Visible sign, registration. All the Jews must register, okay? Why? Makes it easier to round them up. Gun registration. Makes it easier to round up the guns when you know where they all are, right? If you had to have a sticker on your house, this is a gun owner's house, makes it real easy for the authorities, once gun confiscation begins, to just drive down the neighborhood. Whoever's got a sticker, knock, 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 give me your freaking guns. Same type of deal. At any rate, okay. So you got that? That was abhorrent. Jew sticker. Absolutely abhorrent. Actually, it was a little cloth patch that they sewed onto your clothing and whatnot. Now, don't get angry yet. What's that say? This is a meme, okay? And it seems heartless, okay? But it isn't. It says no vax. I can tell you that this is what's probably going to end up happening if this hysteria over the COVID-19 thing continues, is that if they ever develop a vaccine, they're going to try to they're not going to force everybody to do it, but if you don't have a vaccine, somehow they'll have a way to physically or visibly identify you as being a no-vax. And that's why this thing is so insidious. I don't mean to upset any Jews. I don't mean to upset if there are any Holocaust survivors left. I don't mean to upset anyone like that. I'm not trying to make a direct correlation. I'm just saying that this crap happens in fascist nations, and that's where we're headed right now. And believe you me, if you don't think that this could happen, wake the hell up. So, those who refuse to wear a mask when there's a national mask mandate, look out, okay? Well, you'll be easy to spot. And those who refuse a vaccine, I guarantee you they're going to make it as easy as you can to spot, like the Saul Alinsky technique strategy, where you isolate them and then you basically mock and terrorize them. Okay? And what better way to isolate somebody by tagging them, no vax. Okay? And that's going to be me, because I'm not going to get in the vaccine. Whatever. If everyone else is vaccinated, what the hell do you people care if I'm vaccinated or not? I can't give it to you, right? All right, that's it. My name is, now the sun comes out. Get figured. My name is Brent Smith. I'm the Common Constitutionalist. I enjoyed this. I hope you did. This was actually fun doing this out on this little island here. And I got some, we got several months, hopefully a few months left of decent weather, assuming I'm allowed to leave my house or something and I'm not under house arrest. Maybe I'll do this a little more often, because it's relatively simple to at least get out here. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the alerts, share this, comment on this, good or bad, I don't care. There you go. Have a nice day, bro. There you go.